How's it going, guys? It's Mr. Lone Wolf, and today I just want to test out a few of the newer mods again. There's the JBE mods, and then I've got the Paystar and the Freightliner. So we'll give the Paystar a blast first. As for the mods, I mean, you got more powerful engine. I believe it was S Plus on the power. Obviously better tyres. You got a hell of a lot of choice of tyres, bigger tyre size and stuff. That's the main things. I think there is a JBE like specific gearbox. You got a little roof rack though on the roof, which is handy because yeah, it's just one of those, like if you delete a load of stuff, there's only 250 points in it, so it's not anything too crazy, but you know, if you damage your fuel tank that's all the way deleted or whatever, you can at least fix it to some degree and yeah, get yourself going again. As for the Paystar as well, I like it as a truck, but it feels a little bit sluggish in some respects. It's sort of odd. I don't know. I don't think it's specifically the truck, or it's certainly not specifically this mod, I would say. It's just, it feels like something extra's holding it back a little bit. But anyway, we'll come along here. We'll go for a jump test. It's a pretty short video tonight. I stayed awake in the end, so I'm pretty tired right now. I'll get the video done a bit early, and then yeah, hopefully after I go to bed and everything, we'll sort of get back to normal by tomorrow. I'd like to do a review on something. It's been a while, and yeah, I quite like doing those. They do take a while, but it's good fun flying around all the maps. Yeah, doing a jump there, I mean, as you can see, it deleted the suspension and the fuel tank. So it took a fair bit of damage. Looks pretty good when it's lower though. Yeah, there's the repair kit thing, so it was enough to the fuel tank's only 50. The suspension robbed all the rest. At this point, by the way, at the first little bit, I believe I had the high-range gearbox in, which is cool. At least it has like the off-road option, the high-range option, and then probably the special off-road, and then the JBE gearbox version. Yeah, now I'm in the JBE version. I don't think there's much in it, but it's, yeah, the JBE version was fine. I kept that in the end. Like I said, I don't think it's anything to do with these mods or whatever. It's just this truck feels like it's just, yeah, got some like invisible thing holding it back, and I'd sort of say that's the case with like the normal truck anyway. Maybe it's just the way they've set it up in game. It has got the special off-road gearbox, I believe, or some kind of unique off-road gearbox, and yeah, they're never as fast as stuff like the high range and that, but this sort of feels like it really doesn't want to be that fast, even though it has got yeah, like the full power to weight. It's got some pretty decent sized tyres now, so there's no reason other than some kind of game mechanics really that seem to limit this thing. But it's definitely an improvement. I mean, the tyres are the big thing. I do like these tyres. They sit nice and wide, because the last time I used the Paystar, I think it was on that, what was it, one of the trials, where you get like a pair of Paystars, one had a crane and the other had the trailers. Yeah, the Paystar, they tip pretty easy, basically. It doesn't take a hell of a lot, whereas you can see from all the different things I'm doing now, I mean, obviously it's not impossible to tip, nothing is really, but yeah, that, for example, it easily would have gone if it was standard. And it does pretty nicely along there. It sort of, it soon flicks me off to the side at the end, but yeah, it was walking along there, not taking a whole lot of damage. Yeah, he says, until we just deleted ourselves there. Even though I have just broke the suspension, I don't know if it'd make a whole lot of difference even if I hadn't. In fact, I think every time I'm doing a little jump over them, I'd keep smashing it a bit more and a bit more or whatever until it's gone anyway, so. This little jump, it gripped up there pretty nicely. I tried driving something up there the other day. I can't remember what it was, but it really didn't want to go up there. It was just kind of wheel spinning and not really gripping. Everything else so far has got up there pretty well. Yeah, I quite like the look of it when it's lowered. This was a little drive I had earlier on Black River on one of my playthroughs, and I just left it in because I thought I actually did pretty well. I was kind of in daydream mode, and yeah, got here and I thought, oh, sod it, I'll see if it can climb over here. Didn't have high hopes particularly, but you never know. It was close, but we got it up there. That's what she said. Took quite a bit of damage though when they're falling down. It is just like one of those trucks. Yeah, it likes to take a bit of damage, I think. Because it does go quite slow for what it is, or what it potentially could be. It doesn't take any damage going over there though, so yeah, like, top speed isn't always the be-all and end-all, but I personally like top speed in this game. And certainly when I'm doing reviews and everything, I'm sort of trying to push the limits of stuff. I want to see what the top speed is, and yeah, how much it'll take until it smashes the suspension and so on. Quick little trip through the water. Actually, it did pretty nicely going through here. At the minute I am going with the current, which sort of helps, but I'll turn around in a sec and we'll give it a go the other way. Oh yeah, you got a bit of fuel as well on your roof rack, which again, that's just, yeah, nice. Gets you, you're able to just, when you're off on your missions, last a little bit longer before you have to either bring some kind of repair truck. Again, that's half the reason why I just take loads everywhere with me, because it's just like a little backpack that I've now got a 300 repair point roof rack coming along with me. And on top of that, you get the advantages of a goddamn horse of a vehicle and an extra winch and all sorts. But yeah, that's essentially how it all started. Was it was just pretty good to have another roof rack. Yeah, as for the water, it's like, as long as the water isn't touching your chassis really, if your wheels are just driving through it, it doesn't really affect it, it has no issues. I mean, I assume that's why that monstrosity thing drove through here, and a lot of water I did on that video with, yeah, no effort, because the tyres are just so tall that it wasn't affecting it. I think, though, when the river's actually hitting your truck, that's when it officially starts to slow down a hell of a lot. Put it in a high-low, and it, to be fair, it carried on clawing its way through it, so it's, yeah, there is some decent power there. Again, it might just be a mechanic of the game where it's kind of, maybe it reduces the amount that the river's pushing against you if you drop into the low-range gears. There seems to be a few little grip bonuses and bits and bobs when you actually go into the low ranges. But yeah, that's that one. I mean, not too bad. Again, it's, I wouldn't say my favourite mod, but it's nothing against the mod. If you like the Paystar, it's a, yeah, it's a good mod. It's got a lot of nice add-ons and features and all the rest of it, tyres and all sorts, so it's just not my favourite truck to begin with. But it's still decent, I'd happily keep it. And yeah, this one, the Freightliner, which, it used to drive me mad, but I kind of gave it a free pass. By the way, I'm just trying to get a sunny day, and as you can see, every time I pick anything remotely daylight, it's just ridiculously foggy and / or raining. And then every time I go to midnight, it's nice and clear, sometimes raining, but yeah, it's midnight. So I can't really win. I don't know why it won't just give me a nice sunny day. Yeah, the Freightliner used to drive me mental because its steering was like completely broken, but I kind of gave it, not the benefit of the doubt, I still didn't like it, but I didn't blame the truck. I knew it was just like, the steering is broken, whoever programmed it, they've done it wrong, and it needs updating, it needs fixing, and it's not really fair to kind of take it out on the truck when it's just, yeah, been given broken steering. They finally fixed it a couple of months ago, and since then I have, I still didn't take it out loads, but yeah, I quite enjoyed it as a truck. It's quite nice. Obviously, with these sort of things, it's now got, yeah, again, a roof rack, I believe that's 250 points as well. The bigger tyres, again, I think they're about as big as you can go. They're near enough touching at the back, but there might be a little, might be an inch in it. Going for a jump, see how well it handles it compared to the Paystar. It didn't take any damage on the jump. It also, I mean, we took some damage there, but it didn't delete the suspension or anything like that, so it seems to take jumps a bit better. Yeah, as well, I forgot to mention that on the Paystar there was, they've added some better snorkels as well. There was a big tall snorkel that sort of came out the back of the cab that was as tall as the roof. This one, it's still got a snorkel up to the roof, sort of comes out from the bonnet. It's just kind of like an extension of where it normally is. Best case scenario seems to be like a nice tall one at the back of the cab, because it's just the best balance. If you go in like nose first into water and your nose end is going deeper, it keeps the snorkel back a little bit, but then at the same time you get to the other side of a river or something and then your back end starts tilting down into the water. Obviously you wouldn't want the snorkel all the way at the back, because then that's going to kind of dunk it underwater. So yeah, just sitting in the middle behind the cab is a pretty good, yeah, pretty good situation. This is about the second best though. Again, at least it's actually to the roof, so for the most part, water's not going to be an issue. So another little test going through this river. And I actually thought this would do a bit better. I don't know why. That was just the sort of feeling I had. Going that way though, it sort of didn't... It was going alright. But it still felt like it was fighting it a little bit. So we'll go back up and see what happens. I took the same route. I was going to go down the other side, but I thought, well, I'll go the same way just so, yeah. I was trying to compare it to, like, following the current versus going against it. And at first it was going pretty well, but then there you can see, yeah, once it gets to your cab, it's not happy about it. It is actually remaining in a high range at the minute, but there's certainly a bit of wheel spin going on where it's sort of, yeah. And as you can see now, it almost stopped. And I'm not really too sure. Maybe it's like there's a few factors that might make a difference. Weight could be a thing. If it had more weight, it'd be more just planted into the floor, so it could still bite in and grip and plough its way through. Yeah, I started to turn. Well, until about now, I was turning fully left. It was the current pushing me round to the right, and then in the end I steered into it, trying to not have that happen. But it happened. Yeah, one thing I will say with the Freightliner, and this was definitely... Again, this is a clearly better version of the Freightliner than the normal Freightliner. It's quite a narrow truck overall, though. These tyres help, the fact that they sit nice and wide. But it's just, it always has been quite a narrow truck, and it's never really had the weight low down to begin with. I wouldn't say it feels top heavy, but it's kind of like the weight's just even throughout the chassis and the cab. So it's always been a little bit iffy for tipping. It climbed up here though, pretty nice. Handles the rocks, all just fine. Again, it's another truck I'd happily keep. But I'd just say some of the other mods are, yeah, much more my cup of tea. Again, from the same guy, I believe, the JBE dude. He's the P16's really nice. The Tatchin is bloody good as well. Those two I would still say are my favourite. What was the... I've already forgot the other one. Oh yeah, the Voron D. Which again, as much as I do, it certainly isn't a bad truck. I would recommend it to people. But of the three Vorons, it's... yeah, my least favourite, but again, it's not a horrible truck, it's just the other Vorons are bloody good. The Grad is one of my favourite trucks in the game. The Voron, what do you call it, AE, it's a bloody good truck. Easily up there with stuff like the Taiga and the Voron Grad and everything. I just don't like the seriously slow steering on it. Yeah, as you can see by comparison, driving down this thing, it absolutely just, like, the way it wobbles, it smashes itself to bits as it flops each side, so quite a difference really in how they handled the situation. This thing certainly wasn't too keen on it. So again though, at least it's got a repair kit with it, so you can kind of get away with a bit. 250 repair points, and it's better than a kick up the arse. Soon deleted it anyway as I go over here. The engine was already suffering. After I do this, I nipped back and repaired it and then came back out because the engine was stalling a fair bit. I mean, it's still got enough, at least with these bigger tyres as well, and the tyres are very close to the front, so there isn't really any overhang or anything. It's yeah, it doesn't, I mean, just about catch its nose there, but I kind of flicking the back end up in the air by then, so yeah, it doesn't get caught a whole lot on stuff, which is nice. Same with there, sort of clipped the bumper, but still scooted its way up there, no problem. And then going across here, I wasn't too sure, but it kind of, yeah, took a lot of damage there. It's one of those trucks, it seems to just like to smash itself to bits. Again, it's nothing to do with the mod itself, I think it's just the truck, like, that's the, yeah. Pick this truck, that's just what you got to deal with in the first place. And lastly, just a quick go on the trees. It was going so well. But that top heavy, it kind of had a little bit of wiggle at the end, hit the tree, clipped the wheel, and she was gone. But yeah, that's about it for today though. It's a bit of a short one, like I said, but yeah, they're both decent trucks, like they're worth getting, especially if you like them to begin with. These are better versions. So that's about it for today. I hope you've enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Get yourself a loaf, and I'll be back soon.